Listen to me. You just finished your workout. You're sweating, you're breathing hard, and right now your body is screaming at you. It is desperate. It is reaching out for something, anything, to start rebuilding what you just tore down. And you know what most people do? They grab a protein bar full of chemicals they can't pronounce, or they stop at a drive-through, or, and this kills me, they do nothing. They just go home, collapse on the couch, and wonder why they're not getting results. Well, today I'm going to tell you about something so simple, so powerful, so perfectly designed by nature, that it almost seems like a trick. One banana, one single banana after your workout. And if you'll just listen to me for the next little while, I'm going to show you why that one humble piece of fruit can literally transform your body from the inside out. Now, you might be thinking, Jack, a banana? Really? That's your big secret? And I understand that. I do, because we live in a world where people want complicated answers. They want expensive supplements and fancy powders and 10-step systems. Well, let me tell you something. I've been doing this for over 60 years. 60 years of training, nutrition, studying the human body, and working with thousands of people from every walk of life. And what I've learned, the hard way and the beautiful way, is that the simplest truths are almost always the most powerful ones. And this truth? It's about as simple as it gets. I wasn't always the man standing in front of you, not by a long shot. When I was 15 years old, I was a mess, a genuine mess. I was weak. I was sick. I was addicted to sugar and junk food like you wouldn't believe. I used to eat 10 candy bars a day. 10! And I thought that was normal. My body ached. My skin was terrible. I had no energy. I was the kind of kid who got winded walking up a flight of stairs. The girls used to laugh at me. Can you imagine that? Now, I'm not saying that to get your sympathy. I'm saying it because I want you to understand that wherever you're starting from today, I was worse. I was further behind than you. I had every excuse in the world to give up before I even started. But then, something happened. My mother, God bless her, dragged me to a lecture by a man named Paul Bragg. And Paul Bragg stood up on that stage, and he talked about what food does to your body. He talked about what real nutrition means. And something cracked open inside me that day. I looked at my candy wrappers and my junk food, and I thought, this is poison. I am poisoning myself and calling it pleasure. So I made a decision. I made a choice. And your body is always waiting for you to make that same choice. Now, I'm going to tell you something about bananas that most people flat out don't know, and when you hear it, when you really understand it, you're going to look at this fruit completely differently. After you exercise, your muscles are depleted. They've burned through their primary fuel source, which is something called glycogen. Think of it like this. Your muscles are like a car engine, and glycogen is the gasoline. You just drove the car hard. You just pushed it to its limits. And the tank is low. The engine is hot. It needs to be refueled before it can run again at full power. Now here's the magic. A banana contains natural sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose that absorb into your bloodstream quickly and efficiently, faster than most other foods. Your muscles grab that fuel and they start rebuilding immediately. Without that refueling, your body actually begins to break down muscle tissue for energy. That's right. If you don't refuel after your workout, your body starts eating your own muscle, and that is the opposite of what you want. I'll tell you something else that most people don't think about. Potassium. One medium banana gives you around 400 milligrams of potassium. Now, why does that matter? Because when you sweat, you don't just lose water. You lose electrolytes. You lose minerals. You lose the very electrical chemicals that your muscles need to contract and relax properly. And when your potassium drops, what happens? Cramps, fatigue, weakness. Your heart works harder than it should. Every single cell in your body runs on electrical signals, and potassium is part of what carries those signals. So when you eat that banana after your workout, you're not just eating fruit. You're recharging your body's electrical system. You are literally powering yourself back up. Now let me tell you what else is in that remarkable little package. Magnesium, vitamin B6, vitamin C, natural fiber, and something called tryptophan, which your body converts into serotonin. You know what serotonin is? It's your feel-good chemical. It's what makes you feel calm, satisfied, optimistic. So not only is this banana repairing your muscles and restoring your electrolytes, it's also improving your mood. Naturally, without a single pill, without a single artificial ingredient, just a piece of fruit that nature spent millions of years perfecting. And we have the nerve to think we can do better with a laboratory. Here's the thing about vitamin B6 specifically, because this one fascinates me. B6 helps your body metabolize protein. Think about what that means. If you're eating protein to build muscle, which you should be, B6 is one of the keys that unlocks that process. It helps your body actually use the protein you consume. Without adequate B6, you can eat all the protein in the world and not get the full benefit. And where does B6 come from? Right there in your banana. It's working for you on multiple levels at once. That's what I mean when I say it's elegant. It's complete. It's designed. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Jack, aren't bananas full of sugar? I'm trying to watch my carbs. And I hear that. I hear it all the time. But let me bust this myth right here and right now, because this misunderstanding is costing people their results. Yes, bananas contain natural sugars, but there is a world of difference between the natural sugars in a whole piece of fruit and the processed sugars in the garbage most people are eating. When you eat a banana, that sugar comes packaged with fiber, with vitamins, with minerals, with water. Your body processes it completely differently than it processes a candy bar or a soda. And crucially, in the post-workout window, your muscles are insulin sensitive. They are primed and ready to absorb glucose rapidly. That sugar is not going to fat storage. It is going directly into your muscle cells for recovery. The timing changes everything. The same carbohydrate that might cause a blood sugar spike at other times of day goes to work rebuilding your body when you eat it in that window right after training. I've been saying this for decades. Exercise is king, nutrition is queen, and together they make an unbeatable team. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet, and you cannot out-eat a lack of exercise. They work together, always. And what you put in your body immediately after exercise is one of the most powerful nutritional decisions you make all day. That window, the 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, is when your body is most receptive. It's when the rebuilding happens. So what you choose in that moment matters enormously. Let me tell you about a man I knew. I'll call him Robert. Robert came to me in his mid-50s. He'd been going to the gym 3 days a week for almost a year, and he was frustrated because he wasn't seeing results. He was doing the work. He was showing up, but nothing was changing. And I asked him, I said, Robert, what do you eat after your workout? And he looked at me and he said, nothing usually. I'm not hungry right away. And there it was. There was the problem. He was doing all that work and then refusing to give his body the materials it needed to capitalize on that work. It was like building a fire and then refusing to add wood. Your body needs fuel to do the repair work. It needs the raw materials. So, I told Robert, starting tomorrow, a banana within 30 minutes of finishing your workout. Every time. No exceptions. And you know what? 6 weeks later, that man called me, and he told me he'd lost 9 pounds and he could finally see definition in his arms that hadn't been there for 20 years. One habit, consistent application, real results. And here's what I want you to understand about muscle recovery, because this is where most people are completely in the dark. When you exercise, you create what are called micro tears in the muscle fibers. That sounds scary, but it's exactly what's supposed to happen. It's the stimulus for growth. But those micro tears have to be repaired. And the repair process requires glucose for energy, amino acids for raw material, and specific vitamins and minerals as cofactors in the biochemical process. Your banana contributes to all of those needs. The natural sugars provide the energy. The B vitamins support the enzymatic processes. The potassium and magnesium support muscle cell function. It's a complete recovery package wrapped in a yellow peel that costs you about 30 cents. Now, let me address the crowd of people who are sitting there right now thinking they're too old for this, because I know you're out there. Jack, I'm 60. Jack, I'm 70. Jack, I'm past my prime. Baloney. You know what? I don't believe in being past your prime. I don't accept that. I swam handcuffed and shackled, towing 70 boats carrying 70 people for more than a mile through Long Beach Harbor. On my 70th birthday, 70 years old, handcuffed. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you that because I want you to expand your sense of what's possible. Your body does not know how many candles were on your last birthday cake. It only knows what you do with it. It only knows what raw materials you give it to work with. And a banana doesn't care how old you are. The potassium works the same at 65 as it does at 25. The glycogen replenishment happens regardless of your age. In fact, older adults often have more to gain from proper post-workout nutrition because muscle recovery can slow slightly with age, which means the nutritional support becomes more important, not less. And I'll tell you something else about bananas and older adults specifically. The B6 in bananas supports cognitive function. It plays a role in neurotransmitter production. So this fruit is simultaneously helping your muscles recover and supporting your brain health. As we age, keeping that brain sharp becomes just as important as keeping the body strong. Everything is connected. Your body is one integrated system, and when you feed it well, every part benefits. Let me paint you a picture of two people. Two people who both work out with exactly the same intensity, exactly the same frequency, exactly the same exercises. But one of them, after every session, has a banana. Maybe they add it to a small cup of Greek yogurt for some protein alongside those carbohydrates. The other one goes home and eats nothing for 2 hours, or worse, grabs something processed and empty. After 6 months, those two people look completely different. Not because of what they did in the gym, they did the same thing in the gym, but because of what they did in that critical window afterward. One person's body had everything it needed to rebuild stronger. The other person's body was left scrambling, cannibalizing muscle, storing stress hormones, dragging into the next day already depleted. That difference, compounded over months and years, is the difference between transformation and frustration. You know what else bananas do? They help regulate inflammation. Exercise creates inflammation in the body. Necessary inflammation, that's part of the repair process, but inflammation nonetheless. The antioxidants in bananas, including dopamine and catechins, help manage that inflammatory response. They help your body cool down the fire that exercise starts, so you can come back sooner, train harder, and recover faster. Less soreness, more consistency. More consistency means more results. It all works together. It's all one beautiful, elegant system. Now I want to talk to the people who tell me they don't have time. Jack, I work full-time. I have kids. I can't be bothered with complicated nutrition plans, and I love this excuse because I love destroying it. A banana takes 4 seconds to peel. 4 seconds. You have 4 seconds. Everyone has 4 seconds. You spend more time than that deciding what to watch on television. This is the lowest barrier nutritional intervention in the history of the world. It requires no cooking, no blending, no refrigeration, no measuring, no preparation. You throw it in your gym bag on the way out the door and it's there waiting for you when you finish. If you tell me you don't have time for a banana, what you're really telling me is that you don't think your own health is worth 4 seconds. And I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that you believe your body isn't worth 4 seconds. My routine is simple. I get up at 4 inches the morning every morning. I do 90 minutes of strength training. Then I swim for 30 minutes. And what I put in my body to support that work, before and after, is just as important as the work itself. I have juiced vegetables every day for decades. I eat 10 different vegetables daily. I treat nutrition not as a reward or a punishment, but as the operating fuel for the most important machine I will ever own. And if you really get that your body is the most sophisticated, most advanced, most irreplaceable machine that has ever existed on this planet, then you will never again be casual about what you put into it. Let me tell you about another person I knew, a woman, mid-40s, a working mother of 3. She told me she'd given up on fitness years ago because she never had energy to recover. She'd work out and then feel wiped out for 2 days afterward, so she stopped working out. And she'd gained weight and lost strength, and she felt worse, which made the whole idea of starting again feel impossible. When I asked her about her post-workout nutrition, she stared at me blankly. She had no idea it was even a thing. So I gave her the simplest possible instruction. Finish your workout, eat a banana and a handful of almonds. That's it. Start there. A month later, she came back with tears in her eyes because for the first time in years, she was recovering between workouts. She had energy to come back 2 days later and do it again, and then again. The banana didn't just give her nutrients. It broke the cycle. It gave her body the resources to heal instead of just suffer. And once she started recovering properly, working out went from something that exhausted her to something that energized her. That is the transformation I'm talking about. Here's your action plan. Starting today, not tomorrow, not Monday, today. When you finish your next workout, within 30 minutes, eat 1 ripe banana. A ripe banana, not a green one. The more yellow and speckled it is, the more easily digestible those sugars are. If you want to maximize the effect, pair it with something that has protein. Greek yogurt is perfect. A hard-boiled egg works. Even a small handful of nuts. The combination of fast-acting carbohydrates from the banana and protein from your second food creates an optimal recovery environment in your muscles. The carbs spike insulin slightly, which helps drive amino acids into the muscle cells. Together, they work better than either one alone. But if you can't do that, if it's just the banana on its own, do the banana. Start there. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. For the first week, Make it your only new habit. Just the banana. Every single time you work out. Build the pattern. Make it automatic. Make it as natural as lacing up your shoes before you train. After that first week, you can start adding the protein component if you want to optimize further. But the banana comes first. Always. That's your anchor habit. And here's something I want you to remember about habits. They are built through repetition, not motivation. Motivation goes up and down like the tides. Some days you feel fired up and some days you don't feel like doing anything. I've had those days. Even after 60 years, I've had those days. The secret is that on the days when I don't feel motivated, I still do it anyway. Because the habit is stronger than the feeling. You build a habit by doing the thing even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. So, make the banana non-negotiable. It doesn't matter how you feel after your workout. Tired? Banana. Energized? Banana. Short on time? Banana. Every workout, every time, no exceptions. Now, let me talk about what happens over time, because this is where it gets exciting. Day 1, you eat your banana and you recover slightly better. Maybe you notice, maybe you don't. Day 7, your workouts are a little more consistent because your recovery is better. Day 30, you're beginning to see body composition changes because you've been giving your muscles what they need to rebuild after every single session. Day 90, people are noticing. They're asking you what you're doing differently, and you're going to look at them and say, I eat a banana after I work out. And they're going to think you're crazy. But you'll know, because your body told you. This is not about magic. I don't believe in magic. I believe in science. I believe in consistency. I believe in giving the body what it needs at the right time, over and over, without wavering. The science of what a banana does in your post-workout window is established and clear. The natural sugars replenish glycogen. The potassium restores electrolyte balance. The B6 supports protein metabolism. The antioxidants manage inflammation. The fiber supports digestion. All of this happens in your body within minutes of eating it. Your cells don't wait around. They go to work immediately. And if you give them this tool consistently, day after day, week after week, the results compound. That's the beautiful truth about the human body. It responds. It adapts. It improves. At any age, in any condition, as long as you give it what it needs. You are standing at a fork in the road right now. I mean that literally. You are at this moment choosing which path you're going to take. One path looks exactly like the past. Same patterns, same excuses, same results or lack of results. The other path starts with one incredibly simple decision. Buy bananas, put them in your gym bag, eat one after every workout. That's the whole first step. That's how transformation begins. Not with some massive overnight overhaul. Not with an expensive program or a fancy membership. With one banana, one habit, one commitment to treating your body with the respect and care that it deserves. I've been in this business my entire adult life. I've watched thousands of people transform, and I've watched just as many give up. And I can tell you without hesitation what separates the two groups. It is not genetics. It is not age. It is not time or money or access. It is whether or not a person is willing to do the small, consistent, unglamorous things that actually work. The banana is exactly one of those things. Simple, inexpensive, effective, consistent. That is the formula. Not just for post-workout nutrition, for everything, for your health, for your fitness, for your life. Your body is not the enemy. It is your greatest ally. It wants to be strong. It wants to be healthy. It is biologically programmed to move toward health when you give it the right inputs. Right now, after reading all of this, your body is ready. It has been ready. It has been waiting. So don't make it wait any longer. Go get your bananas. Get back in the gym, or the pool, or the park, or wherever you train. Put in your work, and then feed that work. Honor it. Give your body what it needs to capitalize on every single effort you make. Because here's the final truth I want to leave you with. Every workout you do is an investment. You are making a deposit into the bank of your health. But a deposit that doesn't get properly processed doesn't earn interest. The banana is how you make sure that investment pays off. It's how you make sure every rep, every set, every mile, every lap actually builds what you're trying to build. Without it, you're leaving results on the table. With it, you are maximizing every single thing you do. You are getting the full return on your investment. So I dare you to start today. Not to change everything at once. Not to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just this one thing. The banana. After your workout. Every time. And then watch what happens to your body over the next 30 days. Watch your energy improve. Watch your recovery improve. Watch your performance in the gym improve. Watch the mirror start telling you a different story. That story is already written inside you. The banana just helps you read it. Now go, train hard, and then feed that greatness. Because your body deserves it. Your life is worth it. And you, yes, you are capable of so much more than you've yet allowed yourself to believe. I've seen it happen thousands of times, and I am telling you with everything I have, you are next. Now move.